Imagine this. You've spent so much of your life polishing the mask, learning which version of you gets the nod, the like, the smile, the good job. At first, it's survival. Then it becomes habit. Then it becomes identity. And one morning, you realize you no longer know whether your choices are yours or rehearsed lines you learned to keep other people comfortable. If that line hits, stay with me, because this is not a video about becoming careless. It's about becoming free. The Stoics drew this line with a blade. There's what you control and what you don't. Montaigne took that blade and carved a home out of it. He noticed how often we suffer in imagination, in rumor, in what will they think, and almost never in what is here, now, within reach of our hands. Here's the promise of today. By the end, you'll have a practical way to stop spending your life in other people's heads. You'll understand a truth your nervous system already knows. The less you grip what doesn't belong to you, other people's reactions, the future's weather, the more power you unlock in what does belong to you. Your focus, your voice, your pace, your choices. First, let's name the real enemy, the approval trap. Humans are tribal. Acceptance meant safety for most of history. Your brain didn't evolve for subscribers, but for survival. That is why social fear often feels like physical danger. In fact, brain imaging has shown that social rejection can light up some of the same neural circuits associated with physical pain. No, you're not too sensitive. You're wired to care. But wiring is not destiny. The mistake is thinking the way out is to become numb. That's not Stoicism, that's apathy. The Stoic move is different. It's skillful caring. It's precision. It's this. Care deeply about what you can touch and shape. Loosen your grip on the rest. When you hear "stop caring," your mind might protest. If I stop caring, I'll lose ambition. I'll become passive. But look at your actual life. Was it apathy that drained you? Or was it the overcaring about things you couldn't control? The late-night rumination, the replaying of conversations, the imaginary court of public opinion inside your head. There's a reason people who radiate calm seem magnetic. They're not faking Zen. They just stopped outsourcing their sense of worth. That energy, unhooked from the need to prove, reads as presence. And presence is attractive because it's rare. Psychology keeps rediscovering what philosophy taught. A real-time experience sampling project out of Harvard found that a wandering, future-past mind is strongly linked with lower moment-to-moment happiness. Translation: the farther your attention drifts from what's actually happening, the more your well-being drops. Letting go isn't laziness. It's a tactical way to keep your mind where your life is. Montaigne would smile at that. He knew most suffering is anticipatory. Ghosts we host. What if they don't like me? What if I fail? What if I'm not enough? Notice how all those questions keep the spotlight on other people's imagined verdicts. Detachment moves the spotlight back to your lane. What can I do right now that aligns with my values? And here's the paradox. The moment you shift your attention inward to actions and standards you actually control, your external results often improve. You speak clearly. You choose boldly. You move quickly. People feel that steadiness. Opportunities like steadiness. The world didn't change. Your orientation did. But if not caring doesn't mean apathy, what does it look like in practice? It looks like this: releasing approval anxiety without releasing your standards. It looks like training your attention to return to the present during the day, the same way you put a toddler back in the crib at 3 a.m. Gently, consistently, without drama. It looks like measuring success by inputs you control. Did I write for 90 minutes? Did I show up honestly in that conversation? Not by outcomes that live in other people's hands. A meta-analysis in a leading medical journal reported that structured mindfulness training can reduce stress and improve anxiety symptoms in ordinary adults. That's not magic. It's mechanics. Attention is a muscle. When you train it, your inner world becomes less hijackable by rumors and what-ifs. Here's the truth no one tells you. Most exhaustion is not from effort. It's from friction. It's the friction of arguing with what already is. The Stoics refused to spend their life in that argument. They practiced amor fati, not a passive shrug, but an active embrace. This is the material I have today. I'll sculpt with it. You already know this in your bones. On the days you accept life as it shows up, your energy comes back. On the days you fight the river, you drown in 2 inches of water. So, if you've been living for the nod, here's your invitation. Reclaim the steering wheel. You will still care. You will care better. Because the moment you stop caring about the wrong things, the right things start to arrive. Let's get surgical and define the practice. Detachment is not indifference, it's independence. Independence of your judgment from other people's momentary reactions. Independence of your nervous system from the day's random weather. Think of your life like a house. You still have windows. You still see the weather. You simply stop leaving the doors unlatched to every passing storm. Start with 3 rooms in that house. Room of control. Your decisions, your effort, your standards, your preparation, your response. This is your kingdom. Rule it. Room of influence. People you love, teams you lead, clients you serve. You don't command this room, but you can shape the conditions through clarity, boundaries, honest requests, consistency. Room of surrender. Everyone else's opinions, outcomes after you've done your work, timing you can't accelerate, luck you can't manufacture. Here, your only job is acceptance and adaptation. Here's the muscle. Spend most of your day in rooms 1 and 2. Visit room 3 only to bow to reality, then return to your work. A well-known stream of motivation research shows that autonomy, the sense that your actions are self-chosen, predicts better performance, persistence, and well-being. When you detach from the crowd's demands and act from your own values, you're giving your brain the autonomy signal it craves. Your energy stops leaking. Your focus deepens. Your output rises. But won't people think I'm arrogant if I stop caring what they think? Number. People confuse neediness with kindness and detachment with coldness. They're neither. Neediness is about you. Kindness is about them. Detachment simply frees you to choose kindness on purpose, not as a bribe for approval. You've seen the social magnetism paradox. The more you chase approval, the more people feel you're performing for them. The more you occupy your lane, clear, calm, authentic, the more people feel safe around you. Why? Because pressure repels. Presence invites. There's another doorway into this, self-compassion. Not as a slogan, but as a skill. When you treat your own mistakes the way a wise coach would, accurate, firm, but not cruel, 2 things happen. First, you improve faster because you're not wasting time in shame spirals. Second, your fear of trying drops. because failure no longer equals self-exile. In practice, when you catch a harsh inner monologue, translate it. "You're a fraud" becomes "you're scared because this matters." What's one controllable step right now? This is not coddling, it's coaching. And coaching gets results. Let's talk attention again. A large-scale project measuring day-to-day focus found that when your mind isn't where your body is, your happiness drops. That's your cue. Presence is not indulgence, it's strategy. The athlete's flow state is socially admired, but in everyday life we act like scattered attention is inevitable. It's not. It's untrained. Simple drill. Pick one daily routine. Making coffee, showering, commuting. For those minutes, train your senses. Feel the water, smell the air, notice the steps. This isn't a spiritual performance. It's a grip strength for your mind. So when anxiety knocks later, you can choose where to place your attention. Now, about fear of judgment. Your heart rate spikes before a hard conversation or posting your work. Good. That's energy. Your job is not to erase it, it's to channel it. One practical reframing. Replace reputation questions with identity questions. Not, will they like this? But, is this aligned with who I'm becoming? Reputation depends on whether. Identity depends on choice. Choice belongs to you. If you need a logical spine, steal the Stoic two-step. Step 1. What's mine? My words, my effort, my preparation. Step 2. What's not mine? Their reaction, timing, algorithms, accidents. Do step 1 perfectly. Accept step 2 as weather. That shift alone refuels careers. Because you stop negotiating with outcomes and start negotiating with your effort. Outcomes respect that. Let's ground this with a quick, real-world pattern you already know. When you stop checking your phone every 30 seconds for a reply, replies arrive. When you stop overselling, people lean in. When you stop auditioning for friendship, you find friends. It's not magic. It's the removal of pressure signals that make others tense. Call it quiet power. The authority that shows up when you no longer need to hustle for permission to be here. Here's a counterintuitive move Montaigne would endorse. Laugh more at the chaos. Laughter is not denial. It's a pressure valve. It signals to your nervous system, we can handle this. When you can smile at the absurdity of plans colliding with life, you reclaim agency. The event didn't shrink, you grew. Before we go to the protocol, we need to address one more fear. If I let go, won't I lose my edge? Number. Your edge comes from clarity and intensity, not anxiety. Anxiety is noise. Clarity is signal. Detachment cuts the noise so your signal gets through. Detachment shines brightest in relationships, not as distance, but as dignity. Think about the most suffocating dynamics you've seen. They're all powered by control. Be who I need you to be so I can feel okay. That's not love. That's a hostage negotiation with feelings. Here's the clean alternative. Acceptance plus boundaries. Acceptance says, you are allowed to be you. Boundaries say, and I'm allowed to be me. When you stop trying to edit people, you can finally meet them. The connection becomes real or it becomes clear, and both are a relief. A lot of conflict dissolves the moment you stop treating someone else's reaction as your scoreboard. They're upset, therefore I failed. Not necessarily. People carry weather systems you didn't create. Your job is honest effort and clean communication. After that, their weather belongs to them. You can bring this to teams and leadership too. The best leaders set standards, model calm, offer feedback, and resist the seductive urge to micromanage. People don't perform well when they're watched for mistakes like lab rats. They perform when they feel trusted and responsible. That mix, trust plus responsibility, is an engine. Detachment lets you build it, because you're not clawing for control every 5 minutes. Now, risk and failure. If you want a life with no failure, you want a life with no progress. Failure is not an identity marker. It's an information stream. When you detach your worth from your wins, you become dangerous in the best way. You ship more, you test more, you iterate faster, and the scoreboard catches up. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the accurate placement of fear. Put fear where it belongs, in the room of surrender about outcomes, not in the room of control where your daily actions live. There's a reason seasoned creators often look calmer before launches than rookies. They've learned that outcome anxiety does not improve output. Only inputs do: clarity, craft, cadence. Let's pull in one more practical insight. Rumination is not reflection. Reflection asks, what can I improve? Rumination asks, what if I'm doomed? One is a scalpel, the other is a dull spoon. Train yourself to notice the difference. The moment you feel the shift from curiosity to catastrophizing, stand up. Change body state. Move. The mind often follows the body. Stoics trained posture for a reason. Posture is embodied confidence. Another tool, the 2-minute exposure. Every day, do something that scares your approval-seeking self for just 2 minutes. Share a small opinion online. Ask one clean question in a meeting. Say no once without a paragraph of apology. It's not the size of the act. It's the ritual of, I do scary things on purpose. Courage compounds like interest. A brief word on attention and well-being. When your mind is chronically elsewhere, anticipating, replaying, auditing, you live life in a waiting room. You miss the main show. That famous real-world project with thousands of in-the-moment reports didn't just find that mind-wandering correlates with lower happiness. It echoed a deeper wisdom. Presence is a superpower hiding in plain sight. Detachment helps you access it because you stop trying to choreograph the world and start participating in it. And yes, the social pain circuits are real. That's why rejection stings more than it should. But here's what your ancestors didn't have: a way to test the story quickly. Text a friend, go lift, make something. The fastest way to discharge social pain is not to recite mantras. It's to move your body toward something meaningful and to reconnect with one real human. Modern tools let you do in minutes what used to take days. Prove to your nervous system that you're still in the tribe. Finally, ambition. Detachment won't kill it, it will refine it. You stop chasing signal-less metrics, vanity, noise, and start hunting signal-rich metrics. Days of deep work, systems that keep promises, skills that compound. It's not less hunger, it's cleaner hunger. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, I get it, but I need a map, good. Maps beat slogans. Let's build one you can run this week. Day 1, the spotlight shrink. Pick one arena where you over-index on approval. Posting online, speaking up, sending pitches. Today, do one tiny action with a 24-hour no-check rule. Post once, do not check metrics for a full day. Speak once, do not replay the moment. You're training the muscle of releasing the outcome. The first rep is the hardest. Do it anyway. Day 2, Control Audit. Draw 3 columns. Control/influence/surrender. List the top 5 stressors in your life under each. Then write one small action for each of the first 2 columns, control, influence, and one sentence of acceptance for the third. I don't control X, I will do Y anyway. Put the paper where you see it. Day 3, 1 clean. No. Say no once today without over-explaining. A clean, "No, I can't make that," is a love letter to future you. It also teaches your nervous system that rejection of a request is not rejection of a person. Detachment grows inside clear boundaries. Day 4, 2-minute exposure. Choose one behavior your approval-seeking self avoids and do a 2-minute version of it. DM a mentor a single question. Record a 120-second draft. Ask for feedback with one sentence. The size doesn't matter. The signal does. I act in the presence of fear. Day 5. Negative visualization. Stoic drill. For 5 minutes, imagine a common frustration going wrong. The meeting derails. The plan slips. Someone misunderstands you. Then visualize your best response. This ancient exercise inoculates you. The day can't surprise you as much if you've rehearsed your posture. Montaigne's wisdom lives here. Half the misfortunes never happen. The ones that do are manageable. Day 6. Presence reps. Pick 2 mundane tasks. Dishwashing, walking, brewing coffee, and treat them like training. Anchor attention to senses, and when your mind wanders, note it kindly and come back. You're not chasing serenity, you're building attention strength, rep by rep. Day 7. Standards, not scores. Write a 1-page personal standards doc. How you show up, what effort looks like for you, how you speak when it's hard, how you rest without guilt. This is your scoreboard. Review it weekly. When outcome anxiety spikes, open it and ask, "Did I meet my standards today?" If yes, you win. If no, fix inputs. Either way, your worth is not on trial. Micro habits to keep the gains. The 90/15 rule. Work 90 minutes with your phone in another room. Then a 15-minute walk. Clock it. Detachment loves discipline. The 2-slate method. Each morning, list 2 controllable victories. Each night, list 2 things you released. Train both muscles. Drive and letting go. The reframe question. Whenever panic rises, ask, "What is mine here?" Then do that, immediately in small form. The friend text. If you feel social pain, text one person something kind with no hook. Thinking of you. Hope it today treats you well. Your nervous system gets a real-world social signal. We are connected. What this looks like after 30 days. You'll notice a quieter mind, not because life got easier, but because your filter got stronger. You'll spend less time explaining yourself and more time expressing yourself. You'll start measuring success by your standards and your systems, not by strangers' speed of like. People will begin to feel safer around you because they can sense you're not asking them to complete you. Work changes too. You'll ship earlier, iterate faster, and learn more from each rep. You'll take bolder bets because failure is no longer a verdict, just more data. And somewhere in there, the thing you thought would crumble if you stopped clutching it starts working better. That's the paradox Montaigne pointed to across centuries. Life organizes itself more gracefully when you stop trying to terrify it into submission. So let's land this where we began. You were never asked to stop caring. You were asked to aim your caring. Aim it at the few things that compound your life, your standards, your craft, your health, your people, your word. Let the rest be weather. You're allowed to feel the rain without blaming the sky. You do not need to control everything to be happy. You do not need everyone to clap to be worthy. You do not need to rehearse disasters to be safe. Your mind is not a courtroom, and you are not on trial. What would your life look like if you trusted that? Trust it for 1 week, then for 1 month, then for a season. Watch how the right people find you, how the right projects pick up speed, how you stop living in rooms you don't own and start building the house you do. And if you need one line to carry into tomorrow, carry this. Care deeply about what you can control. Care generously for the people you love. Care lightly about the rest. Because the moment you stop caring about the wrong things, the right things start to want you back. Thanks for watching. If this helped, share it with someone who needs a lighter backpack. And if you're ready to practice, not just listen, drop "I'm in" the comments. Until then, eyes forward, hands steady, heart open.